Okay, hello there. My name is Irina, and it's my first time doing a video blog. Never done it before, and it looks fun, so I thought that I should give it a try and see how it goes. So what I really want to do with this blog is just talk about random things, because I suppose it's fun to be random, and I really want to see what would happen if I just pull a random topic out of nowhere and really see what my brain can come up with. It's my way of challenging myself, and I suppose that it would be more fun when things are improvised and unscripted. Okay, so I am going to bring up the random topic generator that I found on Google. Okay, my internet is really slow, but let's see. Blah blah blah. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Okay, when I'm bored, I sing. It's something that me and my friends do for fun. It's a bit childish, and it's probably why I'm not going to get into pharmacy school. Okay, so this category, I'm just going to select all, and then I click on generate topic. It says languages of Europe. Okay, let me think. Languages of Europe. Well, I don't know anything about languages of Europe, but I suppose that there are many things I can say about it. One of which is the fact that I do not know much about it, but I know that in Europe, there are European countries, and European countries each have their own languages. For example, French is the official language of France and also of Canada. And French is a language that I started learning when I was in elementary school as part of the Canadian educational system. And as you know, if you do not know already, Canada is a bilingual country, so then the official languages are both English and French. So anyone who enters the Canadian educational system must learn to speak both English and French. And theoretically speaking, anyone who leaves the or graduates from the Ontario education system should have like a adequate knowledge of both languages, right? Theoretically speaking, but it is not the case for me, and I'm sure for many others, because I suppose it's just that it's really hard to learn a language, especially if you start in the later stages of your childhood. For example, me, I started learning French when I was 10 years old. That was in around grade 4. That's, I believe, when most children in Canada begins to learn French. And because a child really needs to start learning a language from the most because a child's brain is most flexible, most malleable towards new knowledge when they are in their first 10 years of life. If you start learning something new, especially language or musical instruments or any other intuitive skill, later on in your life it becomes more difficult. And that's the case for me, and that's probably one of the reasons why I am not able to speak French that fluently now. But I suppose another reason why I'm not so good at French is just simply the fact that I was not exposed to it enough. We only had like half an hour a day to learn French, and most of that time is spent listening to the teachers talk about French in English, and it's not really a French environment because everyone in that room spoke English then, and everyone was trying to learn French. So I was not adequately exposed to the language, and because of that, it never really, registered in a language center of my brain. And also, so there is the quality of exposure as well as the frequency of exposure and the amount of time that I was exposed. It is possible, of course, for someone to become good at language, even if they do start later on in their life. For example, my friends, I know some of my friends from high school who are very good in French. In fact, they're like almost fully conversational in French. And not even French. My roommate, for example, she is trying to learn Japanese, and I believe that she just started when she began going to university here in Canada. She took several Japanese language courses, and now she is fully conversational in Japanese. Right now, she is actually in the international student ministry, where she helps many international students who come from Asian countries such as Japan to learn English, and she speaks Japanese. She mainly speaks Japanese to these people. And I listen to her chat with her friend from Japan in Japanese all the time. So what is the difference between someone like her and someone like me? Well, she is very dedicated and she practices the language every day, and she really enjoys the language, which allows her to spend so much time and effort on it. I watch her watch Japanese dramas without subtitles all the time, and she is also reading Japanese books, and she tries to expose herself or like just really immerse herself into a Japanese environment by talking to her friends, and also by attending language exchanges where she is able to meet students from Japan. And so in general, even though it is difficult to learn a new language, especially when you are in your later stages of life, even though I shouldn't be complaining, because some would argue that I am in quite an early stage of my life right now, but I mean relatively a later stage in your life compared to little kids from like 10 years of age or 11 years of age. So even though it's really hard for you to learn a language, it's not impossible. And as for the languages of Europe, still don't really have much to say on it, I guess. Another language of Europe is... let me think. Another language of Europe is English, but not American English or Canadian English. Not that I can tell the difference between the two, but English, like British English, with that cool British accent, which I cannot imitate. But I have a friend who who came from Europe, came from England actually. She immigrated there from China when she was maybe 4 or 5. She stayed there for a while and then came to Canada. She says that she had a British accent when she first came, and people made fun of her apparently. But now she's actually speaking, I guess, American, Canadian English quite fluently. I suppose when it comes to accents, it's really a matter of exposure to the accent, because you can't really control. I guess you could consciously control it, but it's not something that I've figured out. But maybe I should try. Okay, maybe some other time. I really can't. Okay. So other than French and British English, I suppose there's Swedish, Polish, Swiss, no, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. Now that I think about it, there's so much of Europe that I do not know. There's so much about, not only the language, but about the culture, about the world that I don't know. And it's kind of strange to imagine, I guess, because, I grew up here in Canada. I don't know much about China, and I've pretty much stayed in this city in Canada for my entire life. And sometimes, I like to think when I'm bored or when I'm running outside, I would like to, imagine how the world works, how society works, how, different economies of different countries interact with each other, and how everything clicks into place in the world. But when I think about it, those are just theories, and at least I don't really know all there is to the world, and there's so much that I haven't experienced yet. Yeah. That's really interesting to think about. That even though, every day we go through our lives thinking that, we go through our lives and all these little things that happen, to us matter so much to us. But if you take it into the context of the world, you realize that these things are really small, and even if you get a bad mark on a test, or if your coworker or colleague is rude to you, or if you don't think that you have the respect that you should have, these things really it's just like a small corner, a small little dot in the entire world, and it's just something interesting to think about, I guess. So, I guess that is random topic number 1, languages of Europe. Thank you for listening, and I hope that I didn't bore you too much. I try to be an interesting person, but I think sometimes I fail at it. And that's why I'm doing this blog. Thanks for listening.